Welcome to Real Talk. We're so happy to have all of you to join us on tonight. We're here. We come your way every Thursday at 6:15. We have a great show lined up on tonight. A great show lined up on tonight. And so we want to say hello to all of you. Hello, Bishop T.
Hello, Pastor Z. How are you?
Do we need to get the council on right now? I mean, do we need to just get on right now? Because, see, you acting up already.
Because I spoke?
The way you spoke, your expressions says a lot.
Okay. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. And I see you have your teacher glasses on tonight. Hello, Miss Tara Marbury Townsend. Glad to have you on. We want everybody to join tonight. This is a very serious, important show. We have a great guest that's going to be joining us on tonight. We have Miss Charlotte Jones, CEO, Cultivating Minds Counseling Group, LLC. She's going to be with us on tonight. And tonight we're going to be dealing with mental health. Health matters. Mind your mind. Mental health matters. Mind your mind. So we're going to have some important information. We want all of you to join us on tonight. Share. Hello, cousin, Miss Bernadette Bush. How are you on tonight? She's speaking to you.
Hello, Miss Bush. How are you? Thank you, Sarah, because I'm so used to people coming on here.
Hello, Sister Davis. How you doing? Glad to have you on
Don't
tonight.
Don't start over talking me tonight.
Yes. Okay, you don't start acting like yeah.
Oh, I guess I can see.
We're gonna be looking this way tonight.
I'm trying to see. Okay, I can see the comments now. I wasn't really seeing who was on.
Okay, what you want to share with the listeners tonight before we get started?
What do I want to share with them?
Yes.
You know, it's a lot going on. I will say that it's an awful lot going on. We definitely, our hearts, our prayers go out to Ukraine and to their president and to the just courage of them and what they're doing to stand their ground and stand up against Russia and Putin. Can you turn that music down a little bit? It's distracting me. But nevertheless, our hearts and prayers go out to them definitely. Really glad to have everybody that's on tonight, and I will echo what you have said. This is a very, 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 I feel this is going to be a very informative show tonight. I feel it's going to be a very informative show. And I'm sure that after our guest comes before her, we will be definitely enlightened as it relates to mental health. So I can't tell how many of you are on tonight, but how many people are already on, Pastor Z?
We have 18 on right now.
18 on. It would be so nice and very much appreciated if all 18 of you would right now hit the share button. We need all 18 of you, if you would hit the share button, because I do believe this is going to be a very informative show. Mental health matters. It does matter. And like you said, mind your mind. In other words, we have a responsibility to our minds as well as we do our oral health, our physical health, all the way around. And so I think we're going to be very informed tonight.
I agree. I totally agree. Miss Tara Marbury Townsend said, "Love you, cousin Tanya."
I love you more, cousin. I love you.
Hello to Miss Veronica George. She's speaking to everyone. The Queen Tink, I believe this is Miss Jones' relative. I don't know if it's her daughter or her niece. I know they're in the family. Just know that. Hello, Miss Mary Smitherman. Glad to have you on tonight. Thank you all for tagging individuals in. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Mariah Freeman. Hello. How are you? Um, share. This is a very serious topic. All of us can gain some knowledge and own. You can't get enough knowledge when it comes down to these type of things. Hello, Sierra Jones. Glad to have all of you on. So we're gonna get started. We won't have a COVID update on tonight. So we're going to spend the majority of our time talking with Miss Charlotte Jones. You all do know about the invasion in Ukraine, and I say this all the time. No one wins in a war. No one wins in a war. Um, it is. We're going to be affected. Matter of fact, we're already affected by what's going on um, in the other countries. And so let's keep those individuals in prayer. Let's pray for the mind of Russia President Putin as well. That maybe, hopefully and prayerfully, God will turn his heart that he would, stop the foolishness. Okay. Hello, Miss Noretta Hardy. Hello, Miss Shannon Wyatt. Okay, share. Come in at any time. Once we have our guests on, you're more than welcome to ask any questions or make any comments concerning the information she's going to share with us on tonight. So, if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go.
Real Talk disclaimer. The information provided by the host on this platform is for education and awareness purposes only. All information provided on this platform is provided in good faith. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, validity, and reliability of information shared by the host or show guests. The views and opinions of guests on the show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the host of Real Talk. Under no circumstances do the host, show guests, sponsors, or affiliates assume responsibility for the actions of any viewer.
Several ways you can join us and connect with us on tonight. One way is right here on Facebook Live. Some of you are with us on Z Andre Huff page, Bishop Tanya Latham's page, or you're on Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. You can go there, share that information with those that may want to join us on tonight. You can also go to YouTube and catch us on Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. Like and subscribe, if you will. Like and subscribe. We would most gladly appreciate it. Okay. We also have a Twitter page, R Talk with Z and T, at R Talk with Z _ T. We have those ways of contacting us and being able to also join us. We also have an email address. Our email address is realtalk.z.t@gmail.com. You also can join us on our conference call number. Of those that are not on social media, but you just want to listen to the show, tell them to dial into the conference call number at 1-646-224-5980. That PIN number is 3341986. We have quite a few people who have joined us on tonight. The Queen's Tink says, she's my aunt, she's my boss. Sierra Jones is on tonight. Princess Morgan. Hello, Miss Prince. I know that's her daughter there. Yeah, Miss Princess Morgan. All right. Hello, Miss Julia Mitchell. Good afternoon to you. Hello, Councilman Thomas Avery. Thomas Worthy. Oh, my. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to say that. Councilman Thomas Worthy, who will be running for mayor. Hello, Miss Shirley Latham. Hello, Mom. How are you? Hello, Miss Teresa Good. We have a lot of new people that are joining us on tonight. Miss Candace White. Amen. We got a lot of people joining us on tonight. So welcome to Real Talk. Tonight, of course, we have as our guest Miss Charlotte Jones. Bishop.
Yes, we have Ms. Jones tonight, the CEO of Cultivating Minds Counseling Group. We're glad to have her tonight. And we're going to deal with mental health issues. She's going to bring some awareness to us tonight because the mind does matter. Your mind matters. And we're encouraging you tonight to mind your mind. And so without further ado, let us welcome to Real Talk, Miss Charlotte Jones. You and the special effects. Welcome.
Hello, Miss Charlotte Jones. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Hey, how are
all right,
you?
now all your fans and family are able to hear you and see you. How about
that? Good.
Welcome to Real Talk. We're real excited to have you with us tonight because we do know that now, not necessarily just with the pandemic and everything that we've been through going on 3 years, into 3 years, there's a high anxiety rate, suicide rate, even more prevalent amongst the African American community, more so than it ever has been. But there is a stigma that is attached to mental health. And I know that part of what you do is your desire is to dispel that stigma of mental health. So welcome to the show again. And we'd like for you to just kind of tell us what you do and then kind of bring us to some awareness and speak your heart about mental health and really dispelling the stigma of mental health.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bishop T and Pastor Z, for having me. It's an honor to be on here to get the word out about mental health. I've been in mental health for 21 years. I'm a clinical therapist at one of the largest hospitals in Alabama, psych hospitals. I do work the psych unit. I'm a clinical therapist there, as well as owning my own private practice. What I have found out and I've worked with every population. I started out with children right there at Mountain View Hospital. Also, I work with geriatrics. My strong point is working with adults. Kids, it takes my heart. Geriatrics, they run all over me, so I like working with adults. A lot of times I found out we don't get help. It's because the core beliefs, how we were raised in home, what we believe, what our parents have instilled in us. What goes on in this house stays in this house. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes,
definitely.
And sweeping things under the rug. And sometimes people had that that special uncle or that special aunt or whomever it may have been. They kept them in the back room or kept them in the, in another room, but they never would explain what was wrong with Uncle so and so, so and so. They would just say, leave him alone, and just he was just isolated from everyone else instead of explaining what's going on. One thing that what we really need to do is become in tune with our emotions. It's more than happy, sad, um, glad. It's more emotions than that. Every day, every day, we need to check in with ourselves, morning, noon, and night, and teach the kids, teach the little ones about checking in with their emotions. That way, they can better, and you can too, as an adult, better navigate and communicate your needs, and wants. Sometimes we get kids that acts up. We get adults that acts up because they're not able to communicate that need. But it's an emotion there that's lacking. But if they can communicate that, we will be okay. And that's we're not familiar with our emotions. You look at some kids, um, say in school, we can't get them to sit down, we can't get them to do this. They're ready to put them on medication, which is fine. Some may need that, but we never know what is going on with that kid if we're not able to talk with that kid, if that kid is not able to point out emotion wise. If I may be feeling anxious, that kid may be feeling anxious. That kid may be worried about something they overheard the parents say. You never know what's going on, and that's why it's so important that we become familiar with our emotions.
So when you look at mental health, and I know in some of the information that you sent over, you talk about breaking that stigma.
Mhm.
Why do you think it's so hard, especially for the African American community, to first, I guess, acknowledge or say that there are mental issues? Even you talked about children and their emotions. you know I guess when we were growing up, you were either just bad, and you
Yeah.
got a whooping, and you know chastised for it. But now in later years, their diagnosis. So can you
Mhm.
tell us a bit about the different diagnosis and why you
Mhm.
feel that that stigma is attached to mental health, and how we really just don't want anybody to know that we are seeking help, or that
Right.
there is something even wrong or going on with us?
Of course. And that's exactly what it is. It's how we look at things. What is our perspective? How do we look at mental health? It's how you're looking at it. And the reason we don't, as African American community, the reason we do not go and get help is because we are ashamed. It's because somebody's going to talk about us. They're going to look at me like I got a problem. They're not going to hear me or see me like they used to. So we are high. And that causes us to suffer in silence. And the next thing you know, we got all these emotions built up like a steaming pot. And then we explode. We got our back against the wall. We have no one to talk to because somebody is going to talk about us. So next thing you know, we got all these racing thoughts, which is part of the anxiety. We got racing thoughts. We're worried. We can't sleep. These are different signs and symptoms of anxiety and depression. And then all of a sudden, you wake up the next morning. Charlotte killed herself last night. Why? Charlotte couldn't talk to nobody. Everybody wanted to judge. Everybody wanted to say this and that. But it's this perspective. But you got to look at it like this. Do anybody talk about the person when they're diagnosed with cancer? What about the person that's diagnosed with diabetes? You see about your own physical health, like you were saying earlier, your physical health, your spirit, man. We go to church. Why not see about your mental? It's there too. We say spirit, mind, body. Okay, we did mention the mind, but we neglect it every time. We don't really see about it. So that is why we have a lot of people. dying by suicide. The rate has increased drastically because no one, or don't get me wrong. No, you do have families saying nothing is wrong with him. He's just crazy. Nothing is wrong with her. She just needs to stop. She's just seeking attention. No, listen to that person. Listen to them. They got something to say. Don't brush them off. Listen. It's there. Because if you don't listen, who else are they talking to? They can't talk to friends. You never know. Then you look at your adolescents, your elementary kids. Uh, Even though you may have a hard day at work, and you don't, and you're tired, you don't. Here they come with the same old thing over and over. You've seen this over and over. I've seen that dinosaur. Get on, get on, get on. I've seen that. No, I don't care if they bring you that dinosaur 20 times. Look at it 25. Listen to them. You never know if somebody's bullying them, what is going on in school. Listen to the child. You never know. And this is why you got a lot of elementary kids too that are dying by suicide.
Right. Right.
There's things going on.
Ms. Jones, when you say listen to them,
Mm-hmm.
there's ways of hearing what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
beyond what they're saying.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What you really saying ain't really what you're saying. I'm looking past what you really giving me to really hear what you're saying to me. And a lot of times we miss signs.
Yes.
A lot of times the signs are all there. They've been saying some things without actually saying it, and we have not picked up on it.
Right.
Have not picked up on it, you know. And I got there's some questions that we have here, but what are some signs?
What are some signs? Isolation is one.
Mm-hmm.
Not wanting to answer the phone, not doing things they used to enjoy, not going out anymore. It is for adults too. When the adults start, I don't even feel like talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't get out of the bed. I just feel like I'm in a black hole. That's a sign. Because once that depression sets in, that cycle spins pretty fast and
Yeah.
you are in there.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to come out. Other signs could be agitation, easily agitated, angry, argumentative, feeling worthless, hopeless, sleep, either oversleep or not enough sleep,
Yeah.
appetite, overeat or not eating enough.
Yeah.
So they can go both ways. Different things like that. So those are some signs.
Yeah.
Some signs.
I knew when I worked at the county jail,
Mm-hmm.
we had to do checks, health awareness checks.
Mm-hmm.
After 10 o'clock each night, every 30 minutes, we had to walk by every cell and look in and make sure that they hadn't did anything to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you know, if they had free time and they never wanted to come out while everybody else was out and they stayed in their cell, you had to always question that, wonder
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, especially around holidays. You know, we
Yes.
always had to be on high alert during the
Mm-hmm.
holidays with those individuals that was in the unit. Epiphany Cherry says every behavior has a cause. We must care enough to find the why.
Yes. Yes. And that is so true.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna expound on that too. When I worked at Mountain View, I would never forget this little girl. She always walked funny. And I'm one of them, I hated to read. But anyway, nevertheless. So I didn't want to read in her chart. But every time she would act out, she'd get the bang on her head, and she was very peculiar looking. So one day we had to do treatment team, and we had treatment team with her parents, but she wasn't with the parents at the time. Her and her brother was in foster care. But the reason she walked the way she walked is because when she was 9 months old,
Mhm.
and the reason she would buck her head, so all this is gonna make sense in a minute. But the reason she would buck her head when she would act out, we never could get why she would start hitting and beating on herself. She was 9 months old, and her own biological father, and I never did understand why when we in treatment team with these people, and he was the one did this to the child. But you have to give him a chance. That's just how the law is set up. So he had straddled her across him and broke her pelvis at the age of 9 months old. So that's why she walked. She walked like a duck to me. And and I read this book by Bessel Cole, The Body Keeps the Score. That is the best book anybody that has ever been through trauma could ever in their life read. It really explains it down to your executive functioning of why the brain slows down and how we operate out of the mind of a 5-year-old if that's where the trauma started. So why she was bucking her head and hits on herself was the body was keeping the score. So anything that reminded her of the trauma, see, she wouldn't have remembered that at 9 months, but the body does. And the body is the one that responds and reacts.
Let me ask you a question while you're there, because I never thought about that. So so whether we are adolescents or whether we are adults, whatever age we are, you're saying that our body keeps score of things. Wow. I don't know if I feel I just wow.
Let me tell you about one of my clients now. I'm not, I won't never say her name, but I said, I got to give this situation because it's just the ideal situation of this book. She just started seeing me. She's like 50 something years old. She was sexually molested by her mother's boyfriend. So it would have been her stepfather when she was 7. And she said he would only do it when he got drunk. And she said she would hear them footsteps coming up the stairs when he's drunk. And she said, I know what he's going to do. So she would just tense up. She said, my heart always would race. But she never got help. Never. Grades start failing in school. Grades dropping. That's another sign because, see, the brain stops. It's been traumatized. So she said, and what made her call me for counseling, she was in Walmart. And she said she was looking at a picture. She was on some aisle. She heard somebody was walking up. She heard that. And she said, and she went straight to a panic attack. She said, I felt just like I did when I was 7 years old. She never processed those emotions. She never processed and discussed what happened to her. The mother didn't believe her. So therefore, she grew up holding things in. Because if she say something, if my own mom don't believe me, what I look like telling a teacher something? What I look like saying this to the boyfriend? Nobody's going to believe me. My own mother didn't believe me. Who am I? If he did this to me, violated me in this way, I must not be nobody. So the first person, classmate, get into an argument and say something ugly to that student, and this has happened to them, they're gonna believe it. That's what that low self-esteem, low confidence. And you don't excel on your job because you're afraid to say anything. It all goes back to the trauma. You make irresponsible decisions because she's operating out of a 7-year-old's mind.
Yeah.
Because she never got past it.
Right. How old is she?
She's 52, 54 right now.
Yeah. And I've said this in the past, and I'm no counselor, for us having the degrees to do what you do. But I've always said in the past that little boys grow up to be grown men, little girls grow up to be grown women. What happened as a little girl and a little boy, if you never get help for it, it never goes away.
You stay there.
Constantly. You're going to grow up, but you're going to continue. If you never get help for that, you're going to continue be stuck in that mindset.
Pastor, you're exactly right. You're stuck. You grow up physically, but mentally, in that book, it explains it. I can explain all those brain terms, but it tells how the brain stops. So that goes to show this is why the grades are they then be immature. This is why the grades are dropped and they, immature make these decisions, not the best decisions. Then sometimes they growing up and they end up going to prison. Sometimes if you just could have got some help for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to start thinking. We really do have to bring this awareness. Mental health goes well beyond what people believe or think. But, things that happen to us, that is how we make decisions in the future. Things that have happened to us.
Let me ask a question.
Mhm.
So, do you think that some compulsive behaviors, or as adults, some compulsive behaviors are a result of something that took place at some point in our lives? And I'm not just, you understand what I'm asking? Am I asking?
Exactly.
I'm asking.
Exactly. That is that is true once again. Let me give you an example. Just say, and we're gonna go back with the molestation or whatever, and they never got any help for it, right? You either gonna this is how when I do group at the hospital, I say you're gonna shoot it up, snort it up, drink it up, gamble it up, sex it up. Those are compulsive behaviors. You will have compulsive behaviors. Eat it up, that's a compulsive behavior. So if you don't get to the root of the problem or the underlying issue, these are things this is how you escape in that emotion.
Yeah.
Because you can't deal with it. So you rather numb it by doing dope, drinking alcohol, gambling, eating, sex. It's compulsive. So you're exactly right. Yes, ma'am. Those are underlying issues. It's an underlying issue to that. A person that is angry, you think they're angry just to be angry? Oh no. No. That's not true at all. It's a reason for that. So you catch that little kid that's angry, he's not bad. Just find out why he's angry. It's a reason. It's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
It's up to we just gotta take time and try to figure out what's going on. That's why I say listen to the child, listen to your kid.
Like Epiphany said, we got to find out what the
Right.
why is. Right.
Yes. Talk to them.
Sierra Jones said, "How can you check in with yourself?"
How can you check in with you in the morning? See how you feel. If I'm feeling worried when I wake up, if you're feeling worried when you wake up, or if you're feeling scared, if you feeling, some people say they feel ticked off when they wake up. Well, listen, something happened before you went to bed.
Hmm.
Something, or maybe it happened 2 or 3 days ago. Did you get in an argument with someone? Did you watch a scary movie? You just got to start checking. Why am I feeling this way? Do that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're just not going to wake up in a ticked off mood. Something happened.
And when you call that getting up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't. Okay, let me ask the question, because I know there's some more questions that people are asking on the Facebook Live and YouTube. But let me ask this: someone that never have gotten help.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that just some mornings are those mornings that are worse than others? That they do just wake up ill, mad, want to take out revenge on everybody that in sight.
Mm-hmm.
I at work a lot of times I run across people who just evil in the mornings. They don't even want to say good morning. They just mad at the world. Like good morning. They like rolling their eyes. They're like, you ain't, I can't. I'm not gonna allow you to make my 9.5 hours be miserable. I gotta get through the day just like you gotta get through the day. And they they just mean for no reason. And you hear about incidents where accidents may happen on their way to work or from work, and they get out just because somebody bumped their car and they just turn the gun on them and shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Some things, because they never dealt with them, do you think that they just may wake up that morning like, Today, I'm snapping. Better nobody say nothing to me today. I'm flipping out on my air this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
going down today. Today is it. And you think about those high school shootings. What make that day be the day? Maybe they have been picked on in the past. You even look at those two brothers that killed their parents. I can't remember what they were, but you remember they said that the father and mother molested them or whatever when they were younger. And
and they killed the parents, right?
Exactly. I can't remember their name though.
Yes, me neither. But yeah, see what it is, they grow a hatred, that anger towards them. Because you gotta think about the child. Their brain is gonna be a little different than ours. They're the kids. They thinking like, you're supposed to be our parents, you're supposed to protect us. How in the world could you do this to us? How could you do this to me? What have I done to you to deserve this? You're supposed to love me. So these kids thinking all kind of things. Then when they go to school, like other parents come out to the school, and they see that their parents don't. So they getting a look, a glimpse of how parents supposed to be, and they start thinking how they're getting treated. So exactly, most definitely, they're not just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. They just not going into that school killing and shooting. A lot of times I did remember they would say they was picked on, bullied. See, that grows a lot of anger and hatred toward people.
Right.
And that's why I say we really have to talk to these kids, even the bully, the one that's doing the bullying.
Right, because they doing that for a reason as well. Right.
Yeah.
Miss Noretta Hardy said, do you offer workshops for people who have someone in the family that has mental illness?
A workshop?
Yes.
Oh, like family support.
Right.
No, I don't. But that would be something good that I do add. I do have a conference coming up in May that I'm putting together right now. But that is something good, like family support. I will add that to the conference.
Because they need to know what to look for. They're around them more than others, and they need to know that was a sign. They were showing me that sign 2 weeks ago. I mentioned it. She also said that her problem with mental health profession is if a person does not want the help, then he or she cannot be made to get, even though everyone around knows that their mental health impacts their quality of life.
And see what happens with that is, and when that's the case, you got to call that probate judge. You got to call that judge. But the only way the judge sign an order to go pick that person up and hospitalize them is they got to be a danger to themselves or others. A lot of times, a person that is mentally ill, they're gonna swear they're not. They don't see it. So this is dealing with something else now. Now we're dealing with the brain. We're dealing with the dopamines. Now we're dealing with something that has we got a little bit more dopamines than what we may call a normal brain. So the other ones we deal with a lot of emotions. With this right here, when a person gets like that, they can become paranoid. You ever cutting the grass outside with the vacuum cleaner, something like that? That's a brain issue. So that's more than like schizophrenia. And schizophrenic people are the most. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. And those are the ones you do have to get a court order most of the time.
That's what I was going to ask you something, but I don't really want to get into a debate, but when you go back, I don't really want to get into a debate. But would you go back to Jackson Grace's comment?
I saw that.
Would you go back to that comment, please? Yeah. Opinion of this is pray harder and get closer to God. Just try to do right, kids and adults. Can you expound? Would you expound on that? Because I believe in God, But let me tell you where my issue comes with that problem. And you said it earlier when you made reference to diabetes. And we can say diabetes, we can say high blood pressure. We don't tell people to pray when it comes to cancer, when it comes to diabetes, when it comes to high blood pressure. We don't just tell them to pray with that. And I think, and I know that Miss Grace means well, but sometimes can you expound on that where we, because I'm not taking anything from God. I believe in God. I believe that He's able to do all things abundantly above.
Yes, ma'am.
We also get help when we are ailing physically.
That's right.
Why do we keep feeling like this is this? Can you please expound?
And it's similar to this whole virus thing. Yeah. Everybody talking about praying, but you need to get vaccinated.
I mean, wear a mask. One.
And two, I'm not gonna never take nothing from, because that's what I believe. I believe in God. But before I even come into this career, I prayed about it. God put people on this earth to help serve His people. Is what I really do believe in. And if I can recall, Jesus was a counselor, right?
He dealt with the needs of the people. He was all everything.
Right. Everything. So my thing is, and that's another reason too, people don't go and get help. Once we're dealing with core beliefs once again. You can just pray about it. And a lot of times people do, and I've heard people say this, those are just demons. Well, you got to get educated too on that. A lot of times I didn't believe in medication until I got my master's and got to working with this thing and started seeing what was going on with the brain. Education is the key. So maybe it's a demon to you, but right now it's some levels off the chemistry part of the brain, and the medication gonna bring it back to a balance. Yes, you can pray, but they say we gotta work towards something, right? And pray. So at least try to get yourself better. We gotta see about ourselves. We're here. Doctors are on this earth to help physical, to see about what's going. If we go with a cold, if we go to the doctor with a cold, the doctor is not treating the cold, he's treating the signs and symptoms. Same with if you go to a psychiatrist, he's not treating your illness, he's treating the signs and symptoms. He's treating you from staying up at night. He's treating you because you can't eat. He's treating you from jumping on top of the house naked. So that's what he's treating.
Let me ask you something. If you can go this far, or if it's something that I may have to contact you later, would you share the difference between bipolar and schizophrenia?
Okay. Bipolar is you're depressed for some time and you have some emotions let me say, it's some depression there and it's emotional there for it's bipolar. You could be, and they got different bipolar 1, bipolar 2. So bipolar means you could be manic for some days. And when you're manic, and you can tell most of the time we say we bipolar, that person bipolar. No, you gotta have these for like 6 weeks, 6 months, these extended a period of time. That's what the DSM talks about. That's how you get a diagnosis. So say if you're manic,
right? So it's mood change.
The moods change, yes. It changes the drop of a dime. They will change. And when you're in a manic state, you're gonna spend money you don't have. You're gonna more than likely you can have sex with just whatever. Now that is bipolar. When you catch them signs and symptoms, those people will always say something about some sex. If it's with 10 people in 2 minutes, that's just how they work. One guy, and this how they rationale. They're very irrational. They'll just sit up and order things, and then you go to their house. They got all these things they order. They never even open them. They're not even using them.
And that's a sign of bipolar.
That's
Okay, let me ask you something. I know you're going to continue to answer this for Bishop T. Uh, you ever seen the movie Frankie and Alice, or Alice and Frankie that Halle Berry plays in?
Mm-mm.
Never seen that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if that's schizophrenic or
You talking
bipolar.
about where she had multiple that Holly Kate, whoever he, I can't.
She,
What's
she
her name?
was
She
Halle
had
Berry,
multiple personalities.
right? 1 minute.
Multiple personalities, the same thing as bipolar.
No.
Okay.
Multiple personality is gonna be in your personality disorder family,
What would that
which
be
is
called?
bipolar is in there too. But multiple personality is not gonna be. Bipolar is just gonna be one extreme to the other. You go. One guy told me, I went to California because marijuana. I could buy me a dime bag for $10. Well, you drove away you caught the bus. He went on the bus. That's what he did. To California, and you could have just got it right here in Birmingham.
So it probably took him how many days to get to California?
Right. So the irrational is not the rationale is not there. But schizophrenia, and I'm gonna go back. Let's go back to the multiple personalities. And they changed that. It used to be called, what was it used to be called? Oh man. It used to be called something. It used to be called multiple personalities.
I thought it was schizophrenic. Was multiple.
Mm,
I thought that was we always concerned as multiple personalities. You schizophrenic.
Let's look. I deal with so many personalities, they done confuse me. And because I do like to say the right thing. Multiple personality. But let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is more than likely with hallucinations, auditory and visual. You hear and see things. And you can be paranoid. You ever hear somebody always talk about if they talk about the FBI, it's always a pastor. It's always somebody hierarchy. And one day I asked this guy, I said, why nobody never talk about nobody that's got another job besides? I said, why you not talking about the usher or the person in the choir? Why it's got to be the pastor? But he said, I guess because the way we grew up, we always talk about the FBI. Those were people high in jobs, the pastor, the doctor, and I guess that's what it is. It can never be explained. But they're very paranoid, saying those people are after them, or they'll tap their phone. That's schizophrenia. And what schizophrenia is, you have an excess in dopamines or a deficit in dopamines. That's when adonia comes, when there's a deficit in the dopamines. Excess means that's your positive signs and symptoms. You hearing and seeing things. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Let me, Pastor Z, would you go back to and give Miss Jones time? I think it was Yolanda Kimball's question. She asked if narcissism was a mental illness.
Narcissism is in the category of personality, but dissociative disorder. I'm gonna go back to you, Pastor Andre. Then I answer about dissociative identity disorder. That's what it used to be called, multiple personalities, and that's when people dissociate. And that is very interesting. You can go to YouTube and you can watch these people. It is some people that's doing like sessions, and you can watch these people change and transform into different people. It is amazing. But where that comes from, did you know that could come from trauma? Because if you think about it, this is what happens a lot of times. The child is so scared. So they think like, okay, if I become Cinderella, Wonder Woman can spin me out of here, Superman can fly me away from here. So they develop these personalities. And then and with the bipolar, unexpected. You unexpected. You know you don't know what's going on with the mood when the stepfather comes in, and you don't know if he's gonna touch you this day or not. So you get scared. Then if he's nice, he haven't been drinking. You don't know that you're a child. And you see he's being nice today. Then your mood changes. If you're going through that a series of time, up and down, By the time you become a teenager, you will be bipolar because you've experienced that up and down, unexpected, a person. Well, I don't want to say personalities, but unexpected behaviors in the home. But dissociative personality, that's more what you're looking for as far as with the multiple personalities. And yes, they do change. Even the voices would change. We'll go back to a little girl, little boy, whatever. But
Wow.
yes, and a lot. What? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said, wow. You
Yolanda,
said they
what was
voice.
Yolanda's
She said
question?
narcissism.
Okay, what about it?
What was her question?
Is it a mental illness?
Mental illness.
Of course it is. Let me ask you this. Have you all ever been around a narcissistic person? They are, well, let me tell you what
Define, tell everybody what that is.
They know everything. They gonna up one on you every time.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell you who the epitome was, and it is Trump.
That's I knew.
Make the decisions like, man, get it like that is not right what you're doing.
We all say that about
like that reaction. Like that reaction out of somebody. Come in one day, done cut off all the hair. Just want somebody to say, woo, that center of attention. That also goes to histrionic personality too. When they like that center of attention. We'll go above and beyond to get it. It's me. I always just want to take over and run things and this and that, just come into your house or come into violate boundaries like no other.
Wow.
Narcissism. So yeah, Trump, when they said Trump was narcissistic, that diagnosis was right on the money.
Who said that?
The whole TV media.
But didn't they have a doctor to check him out?
Oh, I don't know.
They had a doctor to check him out.
They had a doctor to check out his mind. He was. Yeah. Let me ask this, because I'm gonna be honest with you. You sitting here talking and you saying a lot, and we asking a lot of questions. For the person that's sitting here and hearing all of this and seeing some things within themselves, where do we start to say, to kind of, I don't want to say, maybe I do want to say get a diagnosis, or where do I say, like, for example, if I wanted to just have myself checked out, and I'm being careful how I say this because I don't want to have to knock nobody out on this line.
What is that? What they call that right there when folks are angry like that?
I'm not angry. I'm trying to ask.
They're making comments on my. I don't want to have to knock nobody out. Is that one?
I talked about you all night.
Which one am I?
All of them.
What is it when someone always say you are what they really are? What is that? I'm just saying.
Okay, so
if I wanted to start tonight, or if I wanted to just, what would I do?
So it's a lot of platforms out here with different therapists on there that you can go to, different psychologists, psychiatrists, psychometrists. Psychometrists are the ones that can test you. Okay, psychologists gonna be the ones that can see you. Therapists gonna be ones that can see you, support sessions. But what you want to do is you want to read on them, and ones that resonate with you, you want to call, talk with them, and see how you can relate to them. Is this person going to be for you? You want to interview them. You want to make sure you can talk with them.
So let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you out, but I do, because I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that it would just be good for me to just go talk to somebody? Is that what you're saying?
No, you can get on the phone and just, pick you out someone. Go to Psychology Today.
Okay.
Therapy for Black girls. It's a lot of different platforms where you can see these therapists on there. Okay. And just read about them. Say, hey, a lot of times people say, I call you because I'm stuck in the bed, and that's just part of my little profile.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So, and you want to
kind of go based on kind of what's going on with you.
What's going to be conducive to your needs.
Okay.
What's going to be conducive to you. If you get a person and you feel like, you got to lie to them and that's not the therapist for you. Because you want to be able to sit down and be honest.
And get real help.
Right. Because what we're going to be doing is fixing a lie. And we'll be back in the same place.
I noticed on the information that you sent over, you said something that I thought was very, very eye-opening. Non-judgmental.
Oh yeah. And that's the way it should be with every therapist, non-judgmental, because that's an ethic violation if you judging. But me, regardless if it was an ethical, if it was in the ethics laws or not, I'm not gonna judge nobody because who am I to judge? I've always just been like that. I'm nobody to judge no one. So you want to, when you're talking to the therapist, you want to talk to them too to make sure they're not judgmental. It's some things a therapist gonna know their strength. They're gonna know their weakness. I know grief is not my strong point. I don't see nobody for grief. I will not see a person that's narcissistic.
That's you just won't even see a narcissistic person.
I can't. Wow. That's a weak area for me. But while we're on that, let's go over these signs and symptoms of narcissism. It's superior and entitled. Exaggerated need for attention and validation. Perfectionism. Great need for control. Ooh, they got to control. Tell me that's not him. Lack of responsibility, lack of boundaries, lack of empathy, perceiving everything as a threat, emotional reasoning, and splitting. Love to split people. Love to just be chaos. And then they want to act like they want to bring you back together. Fear of rejection and ridicule. You ever notice, like when they say he did something, he got to come back and say, well, I did this. I had this. I fixed this. That was Trump. Always. And that was always what he did. Another one is anxiety, deeply repressed shame. And if you look back, they said he was one of the worst students that was in the school. Trump was. One of his teachers spoke out and said he was one of the worst students in the elementary school. And the inability to communicate or work as part of a team, because of course, they know everything. Inability to be truly vulnerable. That's your narcissistic person. Narcissism.
So we have tonight with us the Miss Charlotte Jones. She's the CEO of Cultivating Minds Counseling Group, LLC. And our topic on tonight is mental health matters. Mind your mind. I want to give you some of her information here. Cultivating Minds Counseling Group, LLC, 4614 Highway 280, number 1062, Birmingham, Alabama, 35242, and Gaston, Alabama. Office numbers is 205-872-1991. And you can fax her as well at 1-877-540-1294. We have a lot of questions that people are asking, and I thank all of you for asking them. I'm going to go to one in just a minute, but let me ask you a question. Do you think, because you said mental illness comes from something that may have happened in your young age, do you think everybody could possibly have a touch of mental illness? I mean, it's you laughing, but I'm serious. Everybody. That's why when you can relate to certain people, because you can understand and see some of the things.
Right, and it's the truth. If you look at psychology, today's definition of mental. I'm gonna read it to you of their mental illness definition, and it makes it really hard to for everyone not to be mental illness. If sadness, That's a mental. You're gonna go through that. And they got on here that if you can stand all these emotions coming at you and navigate through your day by going through the most deepest grief, the most deepest pain, the most deepest anger, and you don't flinch, then you are they call it mind proof, bulletproof. Nobody's gonna be able to do that.
Nobody.
So that's it, everybody, and see that's a silent killer too, where
Mm.
people will suffer with depression. Just they will suffer in silence because they're afraid to say anything.
And depression that you said that here I am, um, I think I'm 52, 52, 53. I forgot. But anyway, but here I am at my age. Just a year and a half ago, I lost my father.
Hmm.
I have my days. I have
Right.
my days right now at this age.
Hmm.
Coming up in life, you get sad and you have good days. I remember my mom and dad used to say to me all the time, "Why are you frowning like you mad at the world?" Didn't know this the face I had. I just had this stern look. I didn't know that. Wouldn't be
Hmm.
mad at nothing. And
Hmm.
I didn't experience real loss until I got older in life when my grandfather passed, my grandmother passed. But the closest person I had I lost a friend when I was in college or whatever. But my dad, I think, was the closest person I've had to lose, and I have my moments.
Yeah.
So I get depressed. I don't want to
Hmm.
talk to folks.
Hmm.
I can even get angry at times. And you know, I have to get by myself because I don't want people to see me this way. I have children, I have a church that and I don't want people to feel like, well, I don't want to come to you because you got enough on you. I have my deacons to tell me, take all the time you want, Pastor, but I got a job to do. So I keep going, and I find a way to cope with it and deal with it,
Hmm.
to press on. But does it always have to be trauma or something happened to you in your young age? Or can things happen to you in your older age that will cause some things to start happening in your life?
Yes, that is so true. And what you're saying, you just described all the stages that comes along with grief. That comes along with grief. It's stages there. Anger is one of them.
Angus.
Depression is one of them. It's the dab though. Depression, the grief, the bargain, the anger. You gotta get your way up to that. And some of us never come to that, especially when it comes down to mom and dad. We ain't gonna never reach number five.
Mm.
I don't never see myself doing number five. Um, but that's the thing too. You will always have those moments, but it's not going to hurt you to see a grief counselor either. I
Right.
know I'm one. I'm one myself. Um, got to see a grief counselor. I make the appointment, talk to him one time, and bad. I need to go back
Mm.
because then when I start feeling that way again, because my sister's birthday coming up, my mother's birthday, my father, whatever, then I say, okay, I need to go to the counselor. But do it before them that time. And I'm saying this to myself. Just like I would say to a client, I tell myself the same thing. But yeah, it's tough. That's why I don't do grief. It's too much of a transference
Yeah.
for me.
Bishop, can you read that comment from Sister George?
Yes, if you have a person that's about 52 years old and they just start having mental issues and are later diagnosed as paranoid, psychotic, just out of the blue, what could have brought this on?
That's a good question. Um, Paranoid, psychotic. We need to rule things out. That's why we have assessments and the evaluation. One thing we do know is they're not going to be schizophrenic, because schizophrenic, you got to be diagnosed way before 52. So something could have happened We just want to rule out maybe no drugs or anything like that. That's gonna be the first question they ask, just to make sure, because they put so much stuff in drugs. And I'm not saying that person on some drugs. I don't know the person, but we just need to rule out different things. Food, I don't know. Just psychotic. What would make them go psychotic? Stress. If they got too much on them. What's been happening? That's another thing you were saying, Pastor, when you were saying that you had a lot on you. We got to have self-care. We got to start doing self-care on a weekly, on a daily. One person told me they do it daily. I was all about at least once a week, but we got to take care of ourselves. We can't pour from an empty cup. So how are we going to take care of something over here if we're empty? So we got to take care of ourselves. But back to that question, stress will sometime, most of the time, do it. An increase of stress will cause a person, you hear a person say, I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. That's what they mean by the nerve. It becomes psychotic. So stress will do it. So you just look at those different things of like that. Then you look at the family history as well. Has anybody in the family ever been diagnosed or with any type of mental illness?
You know, when you say that, has anybody in the family ever been diagnosed with mental illness? When you really think about it,
They weren't diagnosed. So
you
what
know,
question?
you look at back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you have children now that ADD or ADHD,
Uh-huh.
or you got autism, they're autistic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We were not, there was no diagnosis. You just got
Right.
your butt whooped. They said you were bad or you
Yeah.
weren't paying attention. And I think the same thing with mental illness. But let
Mm-hmm.
me ask this, or I don't know if I want to make a statement. We are, I feel, prayerfully on some type of decline or exit out of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and I were having a conversation in the last 2 days about the impact of this pandemic on people mentally.
Anxiety.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, because we all, when you really think about it, nobody had really ever experienced
Mm-hmm.
what we have been through and where we are. You know, it's because what, 1918 was it or whatever. So you know, so I think that I think that because Pastor said something, and I've said it to him. You know, he said he just, what did you say? When you going through, you just deal with it or you get out by yourself. And I think we try to be these
Mm-hmm.
superheroes,
Yeah.
especially as leaders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you said it, that it's got to be, it, you got to take a time out, not a
Mm-hmm.
tap out,
Mm-hmm.
but time out, because you know, it's just no way eventually. And I think that this is the thing, and I'm done. Because you said it at the beginning of the show, things are being said, and sometimes they're being said in our actions.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They're being said in our actions. And you
Mm-hmm.
said that there are people who are suffering silently, but they're
Mm-hmm.
suffering silently, but they're really speaking.
Right, and it speaks volumes. You really can check on those people, especially if they're not doing the things they used to do. They're not answering the phone. Um, their moods changing, and you never know if you're not over there checking on them. They could be some, and I'm not saying that's all, but this is one of the reasons they go in there and start just drinking by themselves. Don't want nobody to know what they're doing because it's depression. Alcohol is a depressant. It's going to depress them even more. They may think it's getting them out of their trouble, but it's a depressant. It's going to
Yeah,
depress you even more.
exactly. Right.
No.
So these are things they withdrawn, isolate. don't want to be bothered, agitation. You don't know how they feel because you're not talking to them, but they
Right.
could be feeling like, I just can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm not making no contribution to the world, to the community. I just feel hopeless. I just feel helpless. I just can't do, I'm not, I just feel like I can't do anything right now as far as for the world or help anyone. So those are things right there that can turn into either depression, suicidal thoughts, ideations, intent. Then you look at, has anybody in your family ever died by suicide? If the answer is yes, you really got to pay attention to those people or that side of the family because it's there and it can happen again because history will repeat itself.
Okay. Miss Jones, let me ask the question.
Hmm.
Um, let's talk about false reads.
Okay.
False reads. So we giving out signs. We say what to look for and what could possibly be. But some of those that's not with everybody. Everybody's not
No.
may not give off the same sign. Then we can make a mistake of someone giving off similar signs and it means nothing.
And it means
Uh,
nothing.
for instance, if I'm in a place uh, and I really don't want people to know I'm in that place right now
Hmm.
because I may be out back at my mom's house walking around in the yard thinking about my dad or whatever,
Hmm.
and I'm away from everybody, and I may be emotional, shedding tears or whatever, just having one of my moments.
Hmm.
Um, I may not answer the phone. I may
Right.
not want to talk to nobody. I don't want nobody to
Hmm.
know I see that side of me at the moment. I want to get myself together. Then I may call them back. But
Hmm.
just at the moment, I just want to be alone, be by myself, go through what I need to go through, or get on my motorcycle. There's been time I just got on my motorcycle and just roll. Uh, just to ride, so I won't be around nobody. Have my moments. You follow what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or if I just want to smoke me a cigar, that
Hmm.
I just don't want to be bothered. You follow what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's
Hmm.
not the fact that I'm thinking about harming myself.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
to the point where one, I don't want everybody to know where I'm at the moment
Hmm.
in my,
Hmm.
where what I'm going through, because I don't want to bring nobody else down. Number one. Number two, some people can irritate the what out of you
Yeah.
that make you even worse. You
Hmm.
know, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
when they call and they want to be joking or acting crazy, you
Right.
do. Look. Let me get off this phone with you because you're about to make me flip out on you. You follow what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just some things, the signs where you say where some people may not be talking to people, it could be a point of suicide, but then there's some cases, possibility, it can give you similar signs
Hmm.
and you not be there.
Right. But this is why I say being aware and being mindful. Um, you got something that connects back to your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you ain't got nothing that's connected back to that. Something is going on with the person.
Oh yeah.
So we dealing with a death grief. This is a father passed. So of course I would expect that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is connect. This is congruent with your. This would be congruent with your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if nothing was going on and you was honky dory, whatever, and then you start acting that way, then that's not congruent with because he ain't got nothing going. But we don't know if you got anything going on. But yeah, that's a little different. But it is different. Signs and signs like sometimes they say they start giving things away.
Yeah.
That's a suicidal, um, maybe intent, or if they just calling everybody to say goodbye or say hi. That's one. They are different. There are different signs, and not everybody that does that, you're right, will is thinking about suicide.
Yeah. Let me give you this example. I have I have 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning, when I first started it, I said, hello, my magnificent five. Roll call. Everybody check in because I got a son in Pulaski, Tennessee. I got a daughter at Gaston City High School. I got a daughter at Etowah. I got a son who works and my other daughter that works. So they start checking in, you know, I'm here. And I started that to try to just develop where we all check in every day. And then I may say, you know, y'all have a great day. I love y'all, whatever. Well, when I first said I love y'all, Sharika messed around, picked up the phone and called Dre and asked Dre, what's going on with Daddy? You know, that you said that. They try to figure out what's going on with me because I've never done that before, and I'm telling them I'm loving it. You know, Daddy, all right? What's going on with that? You know, but I was just trying to get something going where me and my
good though.
Have a connection, and everybody can know that everybody's good that day. You know.
Yeah.
But they thought but my baby picked up on the sign. What's going on with Daddy? Daddy, all right?
Yeah. That, you know, and the kids do, they pay attention, but that's good. But that's giving them an opportunity for us with emotions and stuff, you know, with that, give them an opportunity to talk back to you and let them know what's going on with them as well. But yes, if you never did that or that's out of the ordinary, then okay. But that's why she called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let me say this too. I can either send it to you on, or I can put it on my page or whatever. If they need any any materials, let me know. I can send it to them or put it on the page, and then they can just grab it off the page or whatever.
Right. Now, who is Tiara Thomas? Because she have said a lot tonight.
Tiara. See, the reason she know how to say a lot because she is my assistant. She does my billing. She does my billing and she does the appointments. But I have 3 contractors that contracts with me. I don't want to say that work for me, but they contract with me. Yeah. And she does their stuff too.
Do I know Tiara Thomas?
I know you know. You
what
gotta
is her
know.
Mother name?
Sierra. That's Vanessa's daughter.
Okay. I think I've seen her. She said that's how I feel when my dad opens up. Y'all just too strong, but it's important for us as kids to see the side of our parents, especially fathers. She actually shared information about that book you was talking about.
Okay.
Said it's on your web page, I believe.
It is. I didn't know if it was still there or not because I'm having my website redone, so I didn't know if it had.
I think this is it. No, that's not it.
This the body keeps the score. And if I could, I might could just send it to I have it on what you call that thing on the phone? Maybe I could just send it over.
That's the name of the book. What's the name of the book?
The Body Keeps the Score.
Definitely. I got
and when I tell you, I'm telling you, and I hate to read, but that book will have you so ingrained, man.
I think that's it there.
And when it's a person that has experienced that trauma, this one girl, she said, I had wet the pages up on the book. I couldn't even turn my page. She said, because it hit so close to home, but it helped. And, you know, and different coping skills we could do, for one, is to see a therapist to process those emotions. Start meditating, deep breathing, walking, journaling those emotions, reciting positive affirmations back to ourselves 3 times a day, for at least 21 days until, you know, gratitude every day. Name 5 things that we're grateful for. These things will replace those negative thoughts with positive, because when things like that happen to us, we tend to be have a lot of negativity in us and see things.
See, I didn't really even think. You just made it just that much broader for me, because I do affirmations and meditate as well. But so if the body keeps score in a negative way, the body keeps score in a positive way.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know that may have sounded, I may have be, yeah, some of y'all may think, well, that's so elementary, but that body keeping score brought a whole other light to being positive, to speaking negative and positive, and trying to keep your thought pure and positive, because your body is keeping score with that. Your body is taking it.
Yep.
So even if there's a time where you see yourself slipping, you have the power within yourself to change the your direction of where you're going.
Yes.
That's
what, look, you say that you got them hidden superpowers. We just got to know how to use it.
Use it.
We got to use it. It's the truth. You do have them. They're there.
They're there.
Just got to bring them out.
Councilman Thomas Worthy says, Charlotte, you know Christy, your mom and dad would be very proud of you. I'm proud of you also. Keep up the good work. Our community really needs this information because information is power. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas Earl. I really appreciate you. And a lot of people tell me that, and that makes me go even sadder. I'm like, oh, that makes, and I'm glad you said it. But that's why, and once again, that hits me in my head. That's why I know I need my grief counselor. Yeah. I know I need it myself. Yeah.
Miss Frances Bryant said, if you use Alexa will give you daily affirmations.
Oh, and another app called Shine is really good too. But I want to tell you too, and you got to remember, we got like the subconscious mind. It never shuts off. It runs even when we sleep. So if you're thinking negative, that's why a lot of that stuff gets fed back into your head. And when they say the tongue is a double-edged sword, it's the truth. You got to watch what you're saying. When people say everybody hates me, not everybody, because I would be considered everybody, and I don't hate you. So we got to watch what we say, our words, and how we say it, and what we say to ourselves, and what we stand about ourselves. So but it all go back, but not everything is trauma. Exactly what you were saying. It could be the COVID that brought on some anxiety.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people like that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I met a lot of people like that with COVID that has anxiety, and it didn't start until. But it starts. Everything starts with a thought. Always remember that. Then I'm going to be really, this is very important. Everything starts with a thought.
That's what you said.
Your thought becomes your emotions, and your emotions becomes your behavior.
Your action.
That's it.
And that's what we used to teach in Living in Balance when I was a SAP, substance abuse program specialist. That when they relapse, it starts with a thought process.
It'd be like, what the heck? I might as well go on and use. I done lost all of this. What the heck? But it started with that thought, because you sitting up there telling yourself, I done lost this, I done lost that. But let's reframe that and say, okay, how can I get this back?
Yeah.
Instead of you,
And we used to always make mention about triggers. It's something triggered you to think that. People, place, or thing.
Yeah. It's a trigger. Exactly. Trigger.
Said, I love you, Charlotte Jones.
Tina. But yes, you're exactly right. That's what I'm saying. See, mental health goes well beyond. We could be on here a long time. People just don't know how deep mental health can go.
That's why I asked the question, do you think everybody has a touch of it? Because it's a broad area. Now we actually tag mental illness with the severe mental illness and the things that take place with those that have severe mental illness. But there's a light touch that it never gets to the point that you can even tell that they have some issues. We look at it as being normal, like an angry black man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not that. It's just the fact that everybody may just be touched with a little bit
Right.
You know,
Because
we don't never know.
you're exactly right. Because everybody goes through some obsessive worrying sometimes. We have racing thoughts. But see, sometimes some people can control it a little better.
Right.
And sometimes people just suffer with it in silence once again, which harming themselves. But yeah, everybody gonna go through some type of mental anguish in life. That's just life.
Right.
But some is different. But then we start, then it's different when we get into the
Right.
brain parts.
You
Right.
got to be in touch with yourself too. You got to be
Yes.
in touch with yourself, because when you were talking, I was thinking, like, if I watch certain stuff, I like to sleep with my TV on.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get uneasy when
Uh-huh.
I'm asleep, or like you said, that subconscious and whatever
Uh-huh.
crazy stuff start going on,
That's
I'll
who
wake
listening to
up
the
and put
TV.
my TV on another channel or put it on some type of music or something, because I'll be like, this is going the wrong way.
Yes.
Going the wrong way.
But that's something, yes. I've done that too. I've had to give up, just turn it off. Because I'm telling you, that subconscious mind be taking that stuff in. And it's a trip. But you're right, you gotta stay in tune. That's why I say check in with those emotions. We gotta know ourselves. We gotta know ourselves. It's good to know. It is really good to know. And I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, we really have enjoyed this conversation with you. This is something when we first started this show that we wanted to tackle was mental illness. She and I was having a conversation, and um, I was sharing with her about how I was feeling, and she was like, "Dre, it's okay not to be okay,"
Right, it is.
and we saw other people, boo-hooing and crying about some things that had happened in the past, and we knew they hadn't gotten past that. And we
Mm-hmm.
said, people, are afraid to get help. They really need help.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the way they're carrying on, they really need to get some help.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can, you can shout, praise God, and do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
love God just as much as anybody else. I think I know just as much scripture, but you're human, and
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with getting the professional help that you need from those who have. I tell people all the time, it's a such thing as a pastor counseling you. It's
Mm-hmm.
another thing to go to a professional counselor.
Mm-hmm.
We'll counsel you through the word of God, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
way we counsel. Are those that are not professional, that never went to school for this. But there are
Mm-hmm.
people who went to school as yourself, who have degrees and know how to really deal with this, that will open up a whole different look at
Yes.
what you're dealing with. So
Mm-hmm.
I suggest people, when they are dealing with things like this, listen, there are people that I've suggested that they go see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I do what I can to pray with you and help you as far as I can take you. But I
Mm-hmm.
think there's other areas and other people who can do you some good
Oh yeah.
versus what I can do. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm pastor, and you think pastor's gonna give you the word and get you where you need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
There are some
Mm-hmm.
people who have are professionals that really can open your eyes to something. Because I had I had to talk to professional counselors before, and when they open my eyes to some things, I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
finna quit
Mm-hmm.
just sitting up talking to folks and send these people to you, because you really opened my eyes to some things that I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I really do like. And I tell anybody, I'm just down to earth. We're gonna just be down. I don't even call it. I call it talk therapy. We just gonna talk and have a conversation. But through that conversation, we gonna get we gonna move something.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna become better. And so a lot of time people wonder why I can't keep a friend, why my friendships don't last, why I can't stay on a job, why my relationship, marriage, whatever. You've been carrying a lot of things on your back that needs to be removed. So, and a lot of times that has a lot to do with it too. Why people can't keep a job, stay with, friendship wise, or that has a lot to do with things. So mental health.
Now, let me ask you a question, Miss Jones. Are you taking new patients?
I am.
All right.
And I am a Medicaid provider.
Okay. Okay.
They're asking, do you have an office or do you do any sessions here in Gaston?
With the sessions in Gaston, I will have to I have to check with my pastor because she normally let me use the church. But what I will do in Birmingham, I do have an office, and that is the office address that was put up there. But yes, a lot of people don't want to come in, but that's fine. I do it either way. But telehealth as well.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
So let me make some final remarks right quick and give it to Pastor Z. Thank you for coming on and just really enlightening us and giving us the opportunity to ask some questions. If you will, I know you're planning a conference in May. When you get that plan and get everything out, will you let us know so that we can do something here on the show to let people know and even support in some way at your conference. And it's been awesome having you on. It's been awesome having you on.
It's been awesome. I enjoy it. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Is it the conference is going to be a local conference?
It's going to be local. It's going to be in Gaston.
Okay.
It's going to be in Gaston.
And let me say this, Pastor Robinson and I are like brothers. You have a great pastor. You're connected to a great ministry. But I want to say this. If you need places for sessions and just so happen mission is not available, please let me know. We want to do what we can to help you help others.
Yay! Thank you. I appreciate it.
And listen, I'm not trying to bait you to come over to be a member. You at a good place. But we want to just, if we can help you help others, what a better place will we have, to live in. So, and I know you anyway. We know each other. So I thank you so much.
And let me say this too, and we'll talk. But I'm gonna say, in my percentage, I just don't see. I give that percentage back to the church too. So yes, I appreciate that.
But it's all about just trying to.
But yes, but
for instance, because there's a lot of funerals been going on, and there may be a time that may work for someone, and at that point in time, that place is not available because of something else.
Yeah.
You need to really see this person because they really need to be seen ASAP. And you need, if you ever get to in a place and you wondering what can you do, just let us know and we'll see what we can do.
I appreciate. God knows I appreciate that. That ain't nothing but God. Thank you.
I mean, listen, man, you have been a blessing. You have been a blessing.
And you all have been a blessing. You all have been a blessing. I appreciate it. And how's Miss Shirley?
She's doing well. I would definitely tell. She was on. She may still be on.
Okay.
About her. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. She probably was on here saying, "I probably need to be calling your number."
That's all.
Again, we have Miss Charlotte Jones. She is the CEO of Cultivating Minds Counseling Group, LLC. She had a lot of her workers on here comment. Man, our fan base went up tonight. I think we had over 50 tonight. Mental health matters. Mind your mind. And here's her information, everyone. Go ahead and snap a picture of that if you want to. Send it to people. Have that on standby. We really have someone great in our city that can help us. And if she can't help you, of course, there are some areas she said that she don't work in. I'm sure she can recommend somebody to you. Okay.
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Everybody flood the timeline on Facebook. Miss Shirley is right there saying to you, hello.
Hey, Miss Shirley, how you doing? I miss you. I ain't seen you in a long time.
You wasn't seeing her like that, were you?
No. I used to work for her in the legal field.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, in legal services.
Miss Sierra Thomas said we do referrals.
She probably gonna tell me when I get home, y'all need to call your number.
That's all right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much for coming on again, and we hope to talk to you again real soon. Everybody give some love to Miss Charlotte Jones and thank her for being on our show and giving out all this information.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we wish you well. Continue to help as much as you can.
Yes.
And remember to check on yourself as well, because I know you taking all that stuff in. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It can kind of be overwhelming for you. So take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
And we're going to
have a good night.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Man, what a wonderful night. Great information.
Most definitely.
We definitely want to continue to lift her up in prayer as well, as she continued to carry out her work. Bishop, I don't know if you ever get an opportunity to check out some of the people on Facebook in the mornings. They give these little laughing comments or whatever, or they do a little something that make you smile, make you laugh. But Candace Watson and Tiffany Ballou, I told them today that I want to do a versus with them two right here on our show. We may just get them come on and do a little segment every now and then on our show just to kind of make people laugh.
Yeah.
But we told them we're gonna let them work on their language first. We can't have cussing on.
Well, you can bleep that out or get you a bleep or whatever.
Okay. But they're working on it. They're thinking about it. So hopefully.
Before we go to, we know that Biden gave his nomination, his pick for Supreme Court. I know everybody is mentioning that, so we really want to keep Ketanji, I think I pronounced her name right, Brown Jackson.
Yeah.
That she will go through. We can go. She'll go ahead, and that'll be history made in itself. A lot going on, and as believers, we just have to continue to pray to our God, trust our God, and be encouraged. A lot of good information tonight. It was very helpful, very enlightening. Let me say that, very enlightening, and really dispelling that stigma, And I know a lot of times, because I'll call you cray cray, but a lot of times we might be playing, you know what I'm saying, but it is serious.
Yeah.
It is serious. I'm gonna stop calling you cray cray now.
Okay. I appreciate it. That may be my way of getting off, though. You already knew it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not. You need to go get some help. That's what she said. Get some help. Get yourself checked. So if they need to put you on something, you can get on something.
Good night, y'all. Everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us right here on Real Talk. We'll be back next Thursday, 6:15. Good night, Bishop.
Gotta say so.